We are ready to write the essay. Last step. Okay, editing actually comes last, but still, this is the last of the big steps. So the first thing reminder is follow your plan. The graphic organizer you've been working on is going to make this writing pretty easy. Second thing, and this is one we haven't talked about a lot, only use third person. You don't want to use I or you or we or our. Whenever you use those words, try to replace them with something like people or Americans, or just leave out. If you're tempted to say I think, just leave it out. If you want to say you, use people. Yeah, if you need help figuring out, ask me when you're live and in person. All right, so what we have here, I have my completed graphic organizer, and so I'm going to take this information from my background information, and I'm going to scroll down here to my essay right here. Now, this essay is kind of already formatted. There's a few details that I'll give you for MLA formatting that might be a little bit different than what this one actually is. Go ahead and follow those details. But if you type right here, it's going to automatically indent for you. I have that set up for you already. So let's see. I'm going to do that line. I'm just going to delete it. And I'm going to use the information from my graphic organizer to write my introduction. Yeah, I already have it written. I'm not actually writing that fast. But some key things to notice. First of all, I'm not necessarily going in order of the graphic organizer. I did not start with the who necessarily. So let's see if I zoom back up to the beginning. I did not start with the who. I started more with the where, information I had in where. And then I went to the when, and then the who, and then the what, because that's what made the most sense to me as I was writing this. Okay? You can do it in any order as long as you have, first of all, you have to have basically what the Declaration of Independence is, or something about it. Okay? I didn't tell much about the Declaration of Independence in mine. I decided to talk more about modern protests. I'm not talking a lot about protests in my essay, and so I'm just mentioning this. This is something that most adults who are reading my essay will know what I'm talking about. Most of you would know what I'm talking about with protests over racial inequality, right? But then I list the four: equality, unalienable rights, alter or abolish the government, and the consent of the government. I list all four of those, say just a bit about them. They're all in one sentence, so that's not a lot, but it's just enough to kind of say, all right, here's what it is. And then I'm going to go back up and I'm going to copy my claim statement. Just copying it, coming back down here, and pasting it. Now I'm going to read through it and make sure it's so I have the four listed. Of these four ideals, now I need to say the consent of the governed is most important. So I need to change this a little bit. The four ideals in the Declaration of Independence. I'm just going to cut that and I'm going to paste it right here. The consent of the governed is the most important because it means, and I already used the word ideal, so up here, so I'm going to take it out there. All right, so I had to change it just a little bit to copy and paste because it didn't quite fit with what I needed. And that's basically what you're going to do all the way through writing. I got my first paragraph done. I'm ready for my second paragraph. You'll notice my cursor is blinking over here where it's already indented. So I'm going to go, oops, I need to scroll up instead of flipping documents. I need my topic sentence here. I'm going to copy it, scroll down, paste it. For some reason it didn't say indented. All right, well, I tried. So I'll hit tab so it indents. And now my evidence to support my ideal. This is where I already made sure because I knew what I was doing. I already made sure that my graphic organizer has like transition words like according to the website Democracy Web. That's a good transition. I will try to have a list of transition words for those of you who might need them. But let's see. I said according to the website Democracy Web, and then it summarizes it, and then I have, whoops, I did the wrong thing. I need to copy it, not paste over it. And then I'm going to come paste it. You get the idea of what I'm doing here? All I'm doing is copying and pasting. Don't forget that you need to copy the citation. And the place you actually should put this, if you want to get finicky, you take the period out there, you paste the citation, and then you put the period after the citation. All right. It's not going to change your grade whether you get that right or not, but that is the way you should do it. You take the punctuation. If it's a period, you take the punctuation out from in the quotation, and you just move it to after the citation. If it's a question mark, you leave it there, and then you still put a period here. Yeah. Citations and stuff get really finicky. And as you go through school, you will start learning some of that better and better. And when you get to college, if you are in the humanities, you will learn them very well. And if you're in sciences, you'll figure out what science wants you to do. So all I've done, I took the topic sentence, then my introduction of the quote, my citation, and my reasoning. And I just copied and pasted it one after the other. I'm going to keep doing that same thing with the next citation. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy my quote, my citation, my reasoning, and then I'll do my concluding sentence, and I'll be done with this paragraph. Now, I'm going to still need to read through it and make sure it makes sense. Just like I did with the introduction. I had to change a little bit, but then I'm going to leave an extra line in between and do paragraph 2, same thing. Copy the topic sentence, my evidence and reasoning, evidence, reasoning, my concluding sentence. Leave an extra space. Third paragraph. Copy. This is my topic sentence here. I'm going to want to make sure I take out these 3 dots right here. I can do that before I copy and paste it or after, either way. But I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy what I wrote about the other ideal that I thought was less important, and the citation, my reasoning, and everything I wrote down here, including my concluding sentence. Keep going, and then in the end, last paragraph will be a fairly short one. But all I've done there is copied and pasted and done a little bit of editing. So if you have the graphic organizer done, you might be able to get this essay done in 1, maybe 2 class periods. If you don't have the graphic organizer done, you're going to have to spend your time writing in class. And yeah, as you're writing, you need to make sure you don't use the forbidden words. I already gave you a preview of that. It's I, we, us, me, my, our, and then the second person. Those first ones were first person. This is second person, you, your. You want to avoid all of those. You want to just use third person. All right. There is an exception to that that's written down here. If you are using a personal example, you might need to use one, but if you don't need to use it, don't use it. And if there's a quote. All right, so let's see. My Diana Pham quote, where was that? Ah, yeah, it was here. The quote says, "My daughters, like other Americans." I'm not going to change her words just because it's not formal writing. I'm going to stick with the quote as is. That doesn't count against your score on formal writing or not. All right. Any questions, make sure you ask. But you have gotten to the easy part of the writing. And when you have done this, read it through out loud. No, a whisper is okay. But actually saying it out loud a little bit, it helps you catch any mistakes. Wherever you stumble, there's probably a mistake, or you need to be more clear. Wherever you pause, there needs to be punctuation. That's how you edit. If you have time and a classmate is also done, then you can peer edit as well. Just let me know when you're ready and I'll let you know if there's somebody else who's ready to peer edit.